Gang Beasts, Human Fall Flat, Stick Fight the Game, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. These games have one thing in common. They all weren't made by the massively popular game dev YouTuber named Dani. Dani started making his game Off the Sticks in October of 2018. A few years later, he abandoned the project without ever releasing it. Like many others, I wanted to see this project become a reality, but unfortunately, that will never happen. But then I realized I could just make the game myself. So the first thing we need to make this game is a game engine. There are dozens of game engines out there, and obviously we're going with Unity. And while I know Unity isn't the best choice, it's the only game engine I'm even somewhat familiar with. And a big emphasis on somewhat familiar with, because I barely know how to code a variable. So I found some tutorials on how to code, and I'll be using this one to make the active ragdoll system that Off the Sticks is well known for. Oh, you don't know what an active ragdoll is? An active ragdoll is simply a ragdoll that is active. And the video doesn't show how to make the stickman walk. But it shouldn't be that hard to make the stickman walk without a tutorial. And after a few hours, it now works like a charm. Wow, another tutorial. But at least now we have a fully functioning stickman ragdoll. Mostly. So now we need to make this stickman shoot. And I could spend some time scrolling through the Unity documentation trying to figure out how to add shooting myself, or I could find another tutorial on YouTube. Luckily, Big Brack is Big Bat, and he has a great tutorial going over exactly what I need. So now we have movement and shooting, but we aren't even close to done with the player. We still need to make all of this. Yeah, but I'm not gonna bore you with all the details. Let's just say that my internet history now looks like this. So after about 1,000 hours of YouTube content, we have a player that can run around, jump, take damage, shoot people, grab things, equip and unequip items. But now, we need to make some enemies, because what's the point of having a gun if you have no one to shoot at? Now in most games, the enemies have hyper-intelligent pathfinding, complex attack patterns, and interesting dialogue. And what do they do in my game? They don't move, and they periodically try to shoot you in the balls. So now that we have enemies and a player, it's time to create our first level. In Dani's game, the first level was this cool train level. So I decided to recreate it in MS Paint, and I think it looks even better than Dani's original train. One of the coolest parts of Dani's level was the parallax scrolling background. So now I guess I need to make one. And surprising absolutely everyone, I don't know how to make a parallax scrolling background, and I will be using another tutorial. This one is a little bit special though, because this one was made by Dani himself. So I did it. I recreated Off the Sticks, with absolutely no bugs. I'm probably going to make a part 2, but if this one is any indicator, it probably won't come out for another 6 months. And Dani, if you're somehow watching this, and you don't want me to make a worse version of your game, just tell me not to, and I won't. But if Dani doesn't tell me to stop, expect part 2 in April 2025.